live.
We're live.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. We are joined by special guest, Coach Nelson Slade, who didn't get the memo that you're supposed to put your Instagram handle as your name. That's just what everyone does. I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I did it.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow me. Follow
Nelson
me.
Nelson.Slade.
Nelson.Slade. Yeah, clever.
Man. One of one, baby.
One of one. One of one. You know, there's probably another Nelson Slade. Let's see.
I don't know. There's a couple Slade Nelsons, but
Slade Nelson. That's a way cooler name.
Yeah.
Slade Nelson's pretty sick. Let's see.
Yeah.
You're all over social media. You're all over Google.
For CrossFit stuff?
No,
hopefully.
I don't know. Just your name. Just your name's all over.
Nice.
Let's see. I don't know. Nothing else is pulling up. Maybe you are a solo. All right.
Until I have a son. I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole junior thing.
Juniors are aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know.
I told Perrin I wanted to do a junior, and so for those that don't know, my legal name is CJ, and so my name is CJ Carmine Joseph DePalma. And Perrin was like, I was like, we can do a junior. And she
That's a lot.
Absolutely fucking not. So no juniors over here. My dad got his name in his middle name, Alexander, into Bennett's name, but
nice.
Yeah. Morning, Gus. Good morning, Camille. Morning, Slater. Yes, Kenneth, we will talk about some fantasy football this morning, prep for the weekend, talk about the Dolphins' abysmal showing last night. I'm coming in quiet. Is this better? Hello,
my
Kenneth,
buddy.
Is this better?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. I'll just turn this up. We'll go with this. Anyways, morning, Slater. All right. Morning, Aaron. Anyways, how are you, buddy? How was your week?
Good. Can't complain a ton. Like, training's been like a little lower as I'm dealing with all this stomach stuff, but it's been feeling a lot better. So I got actually, where are they? I got the thingamabobs right here. So they've been helping. I'm in East Coast. I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia. If you know where the University of Virginia is.
Make sure to pull it up and ask and answer the question. So, just for people that aren't staring at the screen.
I can pull it up.
I think you should be able to. Can you click it? No?
It don't look like it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I had a pretty good week. Finally, like, I feel like this is my first week, like, back from everything. Cause like I went to the CrossFit Games, was back for like a couple days, went to the Masters CrossFit Games. And now, like, which is probably the most amount I've traveled in like a one-time span, like ever.
You want to go to Adaptive Games next week?
That's in San Antonio, right?
Yeah. Well, I leave Wednesday, baby.
Hey, if you can fit me in your suitcase, because I can't afford another flight or another week of.
What do you mean? WODprep for your Masters.
I know.
Get out of here with that shit.
Yeah, they did. But like the food and like all that goes along with it. Yeah, fair enough. Aaron, yeah, that's a good comment. I was actually having a conversation with somebody recently. Like, we're in a very interesting space where and CJ and I have had this conversation too, where like Charlottesville, like being in a university is like hyper progressive and like hyper liberal, and then like the bubble immediately outside. Yeah, we're getting into it on a Friday morning.
Oh gosh.
And like the immediate outside's like pretty rural, and like tends to be pretty conservative. So it's like there's some, obviously, as we've seen, some friction that goes both ways. But like as a guy who goes to the gym and comes back from the gym, you kind of miss some of that. So
yeah.
But I didn't go to school here, so I don't really like have that connection to that either. So
yeah, Aaron asked where there are good people on both sides. Maggie, me and Maggie had a call this week.
Oh, nice.
She might be one of our athletes soon.
Heck yeah.
Anyways, man, this sounds so loud. I'm gonna turn it down. I feel like I hear it feels like that's really loud. So one of our athletes is competing. One of my athletes,
Yeah.
Gucci, or Gudborg Vladimar's daughter. I'll butcher that for sure. Anyway, she's our solo sponsored WODprep athlete. She's competing at the Combat Games, which is a competition in Egypt. And she's doing very well. She's in the lead after 3 events. She won one, got second, and then won the other one. We've been
She
working
won the
really
thruster
hard.
one?
I don't think they had that workout yet.
No, they definitely did. I feel like I saw her doing like thrusters like out on the floor and then like,
I think it was clean and jerks.
oh, okay.
But yes, she won a workout with 300 double unders in it, which is definitely her weakness. Um, a free double. I don't know what this means.
Dang.
What
That's
does
like,
this
I
mean?
mean,
Does that mean a house? Does that mean a place to stay?
I think that means a double bed.
A double bed.
So,
Got it. A
yeah.
bed. Maggie, are you inviting
Which
us into your
CJ
bed?
and I spent a week in, what was
A
that? Was
queen.
it like
A
a
queen.
queen?
Queen. It might have been
Yeah.
smaller. It was small. It's smaller than a bed I sleep with my wife in.
So we got real
That's for
close.
sure. Yeah, definitely. Um, and anyways, and so she's doing really well.
It's awesome.
At the combat games. I'll find a leaderboard somewhere.
Have you found with her doing some of these competitions in like East Asia or like West Asia or whatever, like Eurasia, whatever you want to call it, like what's like the field like? I mean, because you have obviously like Sarah Kaya coming out of that area, and like do they pull a lot of like athletes from like East Asia,
Um,
like Korea and
um,
stuff?
no, not quite. I think it's pretty. Whoops. It's certainly not over the top, but it's also the time of year, right? Like she's only been there
Sure,
3 months,
sure.
so like everyone that's maybe higher level did semifinals and then maybe is
Right.
actually going through. So this is her. Make sure to follow her on Instagram. She went first, third in workout B, and then this was like a three-parter. So um, this was an L-sit hold, 50 seconds, and then this was a handstand hold, a minute 37. That's long. And
I
then
feel like
second
once
gravity
like
breaker.
if you're good at that, man, like it just comes down to when you want to come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's any of the men like recognizable
Alex
names?
Catulus is there.
Okay.
And then I mean that's the only name that I know.
Is he the one? Didn't he like win like one of the road qualifiers or am I wrong?
Maybe not. I mean
Okay.
he's been a games athlete in the past.
Yeah.
Um, Maggie, what does this mean? Are you offering a bed or are you offering a house? Um, but we did get Rogue. Um,
Credentials?
yeah, we did get Rogue
Nice.
credentials. And so hopefully, I'm still waiting to hear
That's
back if we're going to get Rogue streaming credentials or streaming
yeah.
ability. But I know no one else has, so hopefully we get it. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's a good just relationship to have in general. Were they pretty responsive time
Yeah,
wise
I
or
had some. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, so it was a general application process, and then so it
Oh, okay,
closed.
okay.
But someone reached out to me specifically, asking me some more questions about it because what I was asking was like a little uncommon. So,
Sure.
so they were just asking if that was what we were um, looking for, and I said we were looking for both. So, but we have someone over there with Show, who's in Scotland, who's our media director, and we're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do with it. What do you guys think we should do with
Nice.
it? In the chat.
Post game interviews,
Yeah, post game
post event
interviews.
interviews.
All right, Gus, let's see the team. I know you're
Yeah,
watching.
let's talk.
Let's
Let's
talk some
talk.
fantasy. My team. I
CJ,
thought I
you were 0 and
drafted.
1. Is that right?
I
Or did you
know.
sneak out with a
Yeah,
dub?
no, no.
Okay.
I think I could have had Aaron Rodgers not shit the bed. I definitely think I had a good
Yeah.
chance to, but it was it was
I was
not
gonna say because that
ideal.
game was on Monday night, and I don't think we talked
Mm-hmm.
about it. But I went into that game up 70 points, but he had uh, Debo Samuel, Brees Hall, Jake Moody, and then Christian McCaffrey.
Oh
Uh,
well.
and
Did you lose?
obviously Christian McCaffrey did. I won by 3 points.
Oh
or like
man,
2.5. Yeah,
that's
because Jake
nerve-wracking.
Moody put up 26 as a kicker.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Um, but yeah, and what's crazy too, man, is that like
How did he put up 26? That's got you guys have to have some unique scoring.
yeah, we have like scoring based on distance for field goals. So if it's like 50 plus, it's like an additional two, and then like
Oh, you
maybe I
have
can pull it
additional
up from
two. I think
last
ours is
week,
one.
or maybe it's one. I don't know. Let me see. It might be more.
26 is a lot. Like that means that
Yeah.
dude, because he only kicked one
Uh,
over 50, right?
he had two over 50.
Okay.
So that's a 50
He's,
point kick's 5 points. 40 to 49 is 4 points. 30 to 39 is 3 points, and 20 to 29 is three
oh, okay.
points.
Okay.
So
I
he
think
had
ours,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 6 field goals and 2 extra points.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then he also had like the Saints defense. And of course, I had the Bills defense last week, and I'm like, I'm just going to cut them and pick up whoever the Panthers are
Oh,
playing.
yeah.
And the Bills went off last night.
Yeah, they did. That was terrible. Not good. Not good
Yeah.
for the Fins. Not good to be a Dolphins fan. I have there's this like vintage store in town and it's got this
Mm-hmm.
sick like 70s Dolphins hat that I really
Like
want,
a
like just an old
does
school one.
it have like the
Um
diamond pattern or anything?
no, it's just
Okay.
like the
For
old
Argyle,
teal,
I guess.
the old
Yeah.
teal and the old font and it's in really
Is it
good shape.
the old Dolphin too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I think I'm gonna go get it today.
I
All
can't
right.
like not look at that without thinking about like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, obviously. All right. Let's see, present. So we're looking at
Augustus,
Gus's.
in the chat, we need to know like what your league format is. Like, is it PPR, half PPR? Just that way we can judge fairly on the team. Then
Judge
you know.
Fairley. He sent it to me a while ago. I can't. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, so this is Sleeper. This is what I'm telling you, CJ. This is the app you got to use. It is pretty
Did you
intense though.
fucking take this on a potato, Gus? What the fuck is this?
I see it's PPR regular scoring.
Is that Jaden Daniels? That's the only thing I
Yeah, it's
can make
Jaden
out.
Daniels,
Bijan,
Bijan, Brian Robinson, Malik
Brian,
Neighbors, Chris
Chris
Olave.
Olave.
I can't tell who that
That's
is.
with a C. Is it tight
It's a
end?
tight end, so Dalton Schultz.
No, he's
Looks
wearing
like Dalton.
black.
Looks like Dalton Schultz.
Oh, no, that's a
Maybe
C and
not.
an L. Can you send us a? I don't know. Can you send us a? Or
Yeah,
is
it is
Dalton?
Dalton Schultz.
All
Kyrie
right.
Williams, Terry McLaurin. How many person league is it now? So I mean this has to be more than 10. This has to be like 12 or 14.
He's saying your team kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if this is a 10-man league, we're playing young, so I hope it's a dynasty. 12 team,
12
okay,
team.
12 team makes sense.
All right.
I assume the Bijan had to be your first pick, which I mean, like, yes, yeah. Also, Gus, is it like, are you playing dynasty keeper? What's the format here? 'Cause, I mean, this is a
There we
dynasty
go.
team. This is solid.
There we go. I can get a better picture now. Why do you have so many quarterbacks on your team? What's happening here?
Yeah,
I'm not really
Fields and
sure.
Brock Purdy seems a bit much,
I
especially if
mean,
like you're
Brock,
not
Brock
playing in
Purdy
like a two
trying to acquire
quarterback
a
league.
new. Get someone to trade you Brock Bowers. They'll trade.
Dude, I mean, yeah, he didn't. I like had some money on him to score a touchdown, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just week one.
I will say that the Raiders play the Ravens next week, and historically, like the Ravens don't do well against tight ends, fantasy wise. So
I don't think anyone's going to trade for Fields, but maybe. What
yeah,
time? There
I
we go.
mean,
This is better.
yeah,
I
it's a good
mean,
one.
all right. Full
I'm a big
PPR.
Brian Robinson fan. It's hard to see what his outlook's going to be with obviously like he always shares reps with Gibson, and then you
Always.
got Austin Eckler there.
Well, he's going to share reps with Eckler now. Eckler, I
Yeah.
mean, didn't do great, but I mean, he caught 4 passes, I think.
Also,
So
Gus, I don't know where you're at, but like having 3 commanders on your team is wild.
yeah, it's aggressive.
Like that's a stack.
Yeah.
I don't know if Malik Neighbors is playing. I also don't
He
know
get
if I
hurt.
want him as I mean he's on I saw something yesterday where he was on some kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, do you have your matchup? I want to see your matchup for this week. Also, he did what I did. I have the Chargers defense because they're playing the Panthers. Dude,
Yeah,
my one of
I
my
go through I
buddies.
go through waves
Uh-huh.
of like every year. Like some years I'll like waver, like I won't care about
Hmm.
defense and I'll waver all the way through. But the last 2 years I had Cowboys, and the Cowboys just scored. They
Yeah,
won me so many games, even though they weren't the best
yeah.
defense. Like
No, there's turnover and
they'd either
touchdown
throw a
machines.
zero or
Yeah,
they'd throw a 15 up. Like it was nothing in between.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing this. And so I picked the Browns this year early, hoping to do the same thing in consistency. And we'll just see. Maybe they just fucking take Deshaun out. He's terrible.
I
160
saw
million. He's so bad.
the Barstool guys, like the PFT guys. It was hysterical. Like they were like making a comment on it, and they're like, I think at this point he might be a better person than he is a football player. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
That's funny.
And like I literally was having a conversation with one of my buddies, and I was like, yeah, man, like I want to like not hate him because like like the legal process ran its course, even though all the situations like really sketchy and all the stories like all kind of added up, and then like less than 10 hours later, it's like all it's getting reopened because like there's another situation that happened, and it's like,
Well, it's
dude,
not a new situation. It's the same. It's just
yeah, like
same
something
time
within
frame.
the suit, yeah,
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't within the
crazy.
suit. This was a completely unrelated, like it had nothing to do with it, right? I think it was totally
I thought
new.
it was just a new situation with like within the same timeline.
Yeah. But like
Okay.
it didn't they weren't it wasn't anything um on like that was already currently there. Like it's a new girl that wasn't in the
Jeez.
lawsuit. But again, like,
Great. Yeah.
you know, all right.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I'm not going to pretend like I know the legality of all of it, but all I know is as a longtime Ravens fan, I love
Trash.
me some Joe Cool, and I think Joe Flacco. Also, let's also talk about like Amari Cooper had the best stretch of his career with Joe Flacco throwing him the football. So like, and if not Joe Flacco, put in Jabu, put Jameis Winston in there. I
Yeah,
love
Jameis
that
Winston.
man.
I mean, I wouldn't say I love Jameis, but
Dude, he's awesome. Tell me what is wrong with Jameis Winston?
I
Throws for
mean,
5,000 yards. Sure, he throws up some picks, but he'll motivate your guys till the cows come home. Also, like the E to W has to be like the most memorable thing in football
oh,
the last like 10 years.
in that
You see this? He has another video where he's sitting there and he's getting interviewed and he's like, "You know what my trainer told me? What did he tell me? He just said be prepared." It's just like, dude is so funny.
I am. I don't mind Jameis. I like him. I think he's just not that great of a quarterback. He throws a lot of interceptions.
I think it's less of a
I'm
yeah, oh
also a Saints
yeah,
fan, and so I watch. This is
yeah.
not
How is
necessarily.
that? Oh, okay.
I can't tell which one is which. This one. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't look good for you, buddy. You think you're about to
Yeah,
get
I mean, I
waxed.
think I think David Montgomery's kind of a like flash in the pan, like week to week. Like I don't think he does what he did last week
Yep. Good
because
morning,
like they're
Holland.
gonna get Amon Ra touches. Um, Dude, Kittle's the scariest tight end like ever because he'll either put up 40 or he'll put up
40,
3.
right.
Well, I
100%.
mean, in my league, he puts up 40 sometimes. Dude, we play high scoring. I think I've scored 240 as like the all
Oh
time
my God.
record. Yeah.
Holy
We
shit.
had some stupid like scoring like back in like 2018, 2019, where like Ryan Fitzpatrick for like a stretch was putting up like 100 points. Like it was
Oh
insane. It
my
was so
God. All
stupid.
right. You got a weird league.
Yeah. It was dumb. It's not like that anymore, but like we do like bonuses for 50-yard touchdowns. Um yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I think most people do that still.
yeah. I don't know. Like
I don't know. I'm not
I mean,
liking his chances.
his entire week hinges on like Dak and CD. Honestly, like if they don't
Mm-hmm.
do well, like you got Mike Evans there. Like, dude, the Falcons are such an interesting team because like Drake London looks like he's a hell of a receiver, but like they just can't seem to like get it to who they need to. Like I still have like drafted Kyle Pitts in some leagues. Um,
Oh, yeah.
just because
I mean,
like
what a waste. He's like,
they got talent, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But I mean like Drake
well,
London too, like he's really talented.
mm-hmm.
Like and like they just I don't know.
Just can't figure it out.
Like and that's what dude, that's what like I think people don't realize is that like as much as like you need to be a good athlete, you need to be a good football player, so much of it's like scheming and just like
Mm-hmm.
how you as a player like fit into said offense or said defense that allows you to succeed.
Right.
But crazy. Okay. Well, hold on, Gus, because before I, bust it out, this puppy sits with me every morning
Y'all,
as I get my work
this
done.
is actually happening.
It is.
How much
This
how much did you nerds pay for that fucking trophy?
dude, it was like this actually isn't the biggest one. It's like about yay high. But like they make one that's like an additional like 2 feet taller. Not 2 feet, like maybe like 8 inches, 9 inches. But it was probably like $90. So I mean, like if you have a 10-man league, everybody puts in additional like $10. There
You
you
make a
go.
new one
They
every
want to
year?
do no. It just travels. They want to do rings this year. I'm like, guys, I'm not wearing a ring around, and I'm not
Yeah.
like paying extra money to keep it. But
It's also
yeah.
it's also interesting with how intense you guys are with what your buy-in is. Like not to like throw you under the bus or
Oh no, our
anything.
buy-in's $50 this year. We
I
upped it.
know, but even so, that doesn't really
I mean, dude, we've
increase
been
the
playing since like
justification.
seventh grade. Like,
Yeah.
and like
I
for
mean,
me, this is the only league that I play in that like I
right.
put
But
money in that like I
that's
care
only like
about.
4 years though, right?
No, it's not 4 years. We are in year 11. Thank you.
I think we're in year 11 too, like my group. I think it's like that.
Yeah.
I think it is year 11, which is college.
Uh, yeah, for
What
me, it
was
was middle
I
school.
don't even
But
know what this means. How does this justify if your league was good or not?
well, I
What was your
mean,
league win percentage?
last year, so I play in a strict. Well, I don't play in a strict dynasty. So I play in like you keep your entire starting lineup, whoever you decide that is, and then two bench players, and then everybody else goes into supplemental draft. So last year I actually like didn't do all that well. And this is CJ. This is why sleeper is really sick, is like they have entire like league histories that you can go in. Um, I have
Oh,
to
he's asking
access
how
it
many leagues
though.
did you win? He'll,
Oh. Like I said, this is like my only league of records. Like I went 1 for 1 here, and I think I got third in like another one that I play, and it's like a redraft league.
hmm.
Um, and then I do a like a
Gus is trying to
guillotine
body
league.
you.
So
Gus is trying to body
two
you,
for
by the way.
two. That's pretty good. I mean,
Be
dude, it's
nice,
just like I
Gus.
don't know. It's for me. It's the more leagues I feel like I play in. Like, sure, the more fun it is, but like I just feel like it's so much more fun when like, or like you're so much more attached to your team when it's just like you
Well,
play in
yeah, because
one.
like you can't like solely root for your team if you're playing in a different league because you have a different team and you're for sure
Yeah,
going to be like you got Tyreek on one league and then you're playing against
right.
Tyreek and you're like I need you to score, but I only need you to score this many points. Like I need you to
I
score
also just like
23,
would
not
refuse
40.
to play in a league where I don't have Lamar Jackson as my quarterback. So that's
Are you
just
starting Lamar?
I've never not actually. There's been like 1 week where I didn't start Lamar, but yeah, I like basically it's like he's like an auto start.
This is
I
wild.
live in. There was one time in where I had Lamar, Mark Andrews, like and the Ravens defense, and I won. Yeah, really. Rest in the who'd you put stat play over him? That's crazy. Yeah, you can't. Okay, let's be real here. If you're sitting Lamar and Tyreek, your league can't be that stacked. I don't know who you have over them, but man's playing in a 2-man league. Um, where do I pull up this history?
All right, while Nelson and Gus
Yeah.
continue to argue about fantasy, which you guys can, Let's take a second to thank our sponsors, Third Z. Third Z is the best sleep supplement in the market. No melatonin, zero sedatives, contains all of the 4 most important ingredients to help improve sleep: collagen protein, L-theanine, GABA, and magnesium. If you guys don't take it, you should. It helps me in the little sleep that I get. I average under 6 hours most nights, but I feel
Ooh.
pretty good. And as Kenneth said, melatonin is trash. And if you guys don't know why melatonin is trash, it's a naturally occurring hormone in the body that we shouldn't be supplementing. And even if you are supplementing it, there's good research to show that it can help, just like Gus's team. Um, but the amount of melatonin that you should be taking is like 1 to 2 grams, and most milligrams, grams. Most supplements have like 5 to 10. It's just way too much. Okay. That includes Beam. I'll call him out. Beam is trash, even though I think Nelson takes it. Trash.
I don't, but I've had it before.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are interested in it, scan that QR code. Let me move Kenneth's thing right there. Scan it, and it will. Yeah, there you go. Over in the corner. It's hard to figure out, like when you don't know. Like
To
it's
me,
like
yeah, I hate when it mirrors. Yeah.
and so give it a try. If anything, just scan the code. It helps us in general. We don't get yelled at. So yeah, but it is something I couldn't live without. I took it every night on the trip, and they didn't even know I had my little to-go packs. When Nelson was keeping me up talking about the, political divides of the U.S. for 6 hours, and we still got up and hit it hard every
Coached
day.
athletes.
So yep, give it a try, guys. If it's something that you're considering or adding to your stack, it's the best. All right. Is there anything CrossFit we need to talk about in general? I mean, I feel like.
I mean, since like the update show, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, not even yesterday. We can talk about a little bit of that if we want to. Let's see. I doubt that Rogue has adjusted any of the leaderboard. I have a question for the chat. You guys have more information than I do. Does anyone know who covering CF is? We found out who that is yet? I know Hiller and them attacked them, but they're trying real hard.
I didn't. Why'd they attack him?
They called out. Gus's trophy is pretty sick.
What's Gus's trophy? Let's see it.
Let me see if I can.
I know there's a lot of them attacking, like the known and knowable guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I do like that.
That's a sick trophy. That's cool. It's cooler than
Yeah,
yours.
Gus, what trophy is that from? Is that like a Trophy Smack trophy or like because that's cool looking. Can you put your name on it though? I don't see a place for like nameplates.
You should be able to. Like that thing. That thing looks like you could etch it.
Like it's like right here, right there. Dirty Bubble 2020, and then we need to put mine from last year on there.
Aaron, are you talking about like her YouTube video recently? I feel like she went on to support CrossFit. Maybe I didn't see it, but I feel like I know what you're talking about. I saw a thumbnail somewhere. Whoops. Let's see. Miranda. Oh, why I still choose like her street parking video? Is that what you're referencing? It was a long video, an hour and a half. I think it's just her like sitting in a car. Dude, she's leaning in a car for an hour and a half, talking about why she chooses CrossFit. And to be fair, they're probably the biggest programming company in the space. I mean, I think they have more people than Mayhem too. Probably than like
Street Parking.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not realize that.
Oh yeah, I think they're like probably 20 to 30,000 monthly recurring members.
They started in South Florida, right?
I know they're in California now. If they started in Florida, I didn't know, but I know they're not in Florida now. But yeah, I mean, because they're well outside of the CrossFit space. I mean, they have like their own like ecosystem. Um,
Hmm.
she said 30K. Y'all, let's just do like a little quick math, just in case anyone's wondering.
$15 a month.
I think let's find out. Just to stroke the street parking ego. Let's just see how much street parking costs a month. Program $19 a month, 180 for a year. Let's just assume everyone does 180, which ends up being $15 a month. Okay. 180 times 30,000. 180 is $5.4 million a year. Bruh.
Is this a good time to put a shameless plug for WODprep SPK?
Yeah, definitely not a good time. Uh no, it's just crazy. Like, good for them. It's just wild. They're such good people, and
Yeah.
they really are, like, cornerstones in the space. And I love, even though they broke off to find their own thing, like, they still lean into all of the methodology, which we will be talking about today at 11. So 4 hours from now, 11 Central, about foundations, the first article, which is what all of this is rooted in. The concepts of constantly varied, verging on random is exactly what is said in the article, which is something that I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be going back to the grassroots of CrossFit, and going over the journal every week. So if you guys actually want to hear us talk about something valuable and not fantasy football, and not just the hot gossip, we do the coaching thing pretty regularly, like all day, every day. And so we talk about smart things at some point. So come join us. It'll be probably a little boring, but that's all right. It'll be fun. It'll be fun overall. It'll be a good learning
We'll find a way to
tool.
spice it up.
Yeah, definitely. Me and Nelson will probably disagree on something, which we
Yeah.
usually do. All right. I'm scanning Instagram to find literally anything to talk about from a CrossFit standpoint, and I just don't think there's anything, which is fine. That's
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I feel like this is like a lull. Like
Yeah.
competition wise, I feel like it picks back up in like October. Like I know Waza's qualifiers start soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the month.
Is it? Have they even announced the dates? They just announced when it is. Did they announce their
Yeah,
qualifier dates?
I thought that I had heard that they were earlier than last year because last year they're like second week of October. Um,
Is there any other competitions coming? Gus, did you sign up for Code Iron Games yet? That's the
do
question.
it.
Um,
The online qualifier. Oh, they make me like.
so it's September 23rd through 26th.
Oh, okay,
And
no, it starts October 17th through 21st. Or wait, no, is this last year? No, it's
I
this
don't,
year. Yeah.
is it?
So week 1, 17th through 21st, then 20. So it's actually later, a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing they needed some time between
Yeah.
SoCal. The events are intense. We went over them yesterday on the show,
For
and
SoCal.
the um like the tier cup, it was
Hmm.
super confusing. Boo.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
Gus.
still honestly don't understand that.
It was good. I
Aaron,
mean,
what's he
where
just saying? Where
is
is it? It's like in the Wadapalooza's in Miami. Oh, he's saying he might be talking about Iron Games.
Oh, Iron Games is in Denver, October 12th and 13th.
Do it.
You should. I've got some
Programmed by
weird
WODprep.
stuff coming up on my program. Yeah, powered by WODprep. I've got some weird stuff on my Instagram this morning.
Uh-oh. CJ's algorithms.
It's very strange.
All messed up.
There's not even a date on this. Oh, yes, there is. No deadline.
Gus, there's no deadline. Yeah.
Yeah, no deadline. But if you basically, I think it's Monday. If you sign up after Monday, then you might not get your stuff when you get there, like the shoes or like some of the gear that's in the swag bag or I don't know, the athlete bag. Nope. Share screen. Boom. All right, this is it. It's gonna be good. Scaled. So we have masters teams of 3, RX individual male and female, scaled individual male and female. And then masters, or no, team, same sex, RX and scale too. So 5 divisions, 7 divisions. Yep, we're finalizing them now. Camille's coming. Camille's got a team. Sweet to see Camille. It's always a good time. Yes, we will have the workouts. Hopefully will be released by Monday. We've been just finalizing them, getting some testing done, making sure that they're going to be sick, and they are. I'm excited about them. They're going to be fun. All right, let's do it, buddy. Come on.
I think it's always an interesting thing to like as like from an athlete's perspective, and then like when you start like getting into a space where you're programming, like I feel like there's some people in some things where like, when are the workouts gonna be released? Why aren't they be released yet? And like there's like I think people sometimes like there's so many factors that go into it.
Whoops.
Pulling me out here.
Yeah,
But because I mean I think like, I like thought before like why isn't this competition release workouts yet? Like it doesn't make sense. And then it's just like there's so many things that go into it.
Oh yeah, a ton. What was I gonna say? So I think it's just more of the more so it's like what just people are what they're used to, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone is just used to seeing competitions like workouts beforehand for local competitions because it's just been the style. It's what they do, right? But then there's some that don't, like Legends usually don't see it beforehand. NorCal, they didn't know anything till like they were briefed, which is crazy, right? And then they had a bunch of judging issues, right? So I think it's just how
they took out a whole event.
Which was like the coolest event, by the way. Like just like the most unique.
It is a cool idea.
And so
did you guys talk about that a lot?
NorCal
on the update show, on the new show? Yeah.
They knew more about it than I did. It was hard to follow. But they had the whole team there. The whole Savant team was there. So
okay.
John was pretty
That's
up
right,
on it. And so Gus, I don't live there. This isn't like it's not my house to like provide anyone stay with. I have to travel there too. I don't live in Denver.
Is Ben back by then? He's back by then.
Yes, Ben's fucking back by then. Don't get me started.
I was gonna say
Ben better be cooking
we can
me
just
elk
like
every night.
party at Ben's house.
Every night.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually not. Are you coming? Did we talk about? We haven't talked about this yet, right?
We haven't talked about this.
Okay. Still trying to figure out what the deal is with Kevin.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out how much volunteer support he has.
If you need an extra team or an extra individual,
you should sign up.
Well, I feel like I know most of the workouts or some of the workouts, so it might be a little bit of an unfair advantage. But
no, it wouldn't. All right, Gus.
All right, hey,
Nelson's doing
say it.
Sign up.
Well, I might bring my little team with me. All right, say less. We'll do it.
You could stay at Ben's. I'll offer Ben's place up for your team. So you guys got a place to stay. We need another team.
And me and Luke only need one bed.
Clearly, I think you only need one bed with 2 of your teammates.
Is it teams of 3 or teams of 2? I thought it was teams of 2.
I think it's teams of 3. Yeah, it's teams of 3.
Okay, all same sex.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll get Connor there. Be a good old time.
That would be pretty unfair, but you guys would like the workouts. They're pretty.
Yeah, he would. I don't know if I would.
We wanted to make sure that like at no point in any of the workouts was like 2 things. One, are you just being pigeonholed by like your weakest athlete?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, that it's really balanced. Like we were really like going through like time and things, and so it's some of it's pretty unique. Yes, there's tons of hotels. It's in a city, like it's not out in the middle of nowhere. It's in Louisville, which is right between Denver and Boulder. So there's tons of hotels within minutes. So
The
we
question
actually
is, can I do this and Fittest of the Coast at the same time?
when's Fittest of the Coast? Is it that weekend?
It's like a month. It's like they're
Oh
doing
yeah.
like
I mean,
open style.
I mean, you're not going to be, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
2 day
it's due
competition.
Tuesday. Yeah.
I mean, you
Sick.
could probably run it Friday. Like if you came out there on Thursday,
Yeah.
you could run it Friday.
Yeah.
Those workouts are never
True,
usually
true.
that big of a beatdown.
Yeah, they're like more open style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can pull a Taylor and just do it before. Um, come on, Gus. We'll make it happen. Hit me up on IG. Let's make it happen. Let's get you out there. And you get the free shoes. I'm pretty stoked for these strike movements, though. Those
Yeah,
things are sweet.
like
Everyone
two of
gets
my
well.
teammates like have them and they really like them.
Yeah, but they don't have this. They don't have this colorway.
No, they don't.
This
They
is
don't have the custom. Yeah.
this is the new colorway,
Where do
and
they?
it's the
How do you feel
haze.
like they typically run? I've never worn them before. Do you feel like they run
I wear
narrow
10
or
and a
wide?
halves. So the chill pills are wide, but the
Oh,
hazes
nice.
are
Okay.
normal. But this
Okay.
isn't. This is the haze.
The haze.
So, the haze trainer. So I have the chill pill, which is very wide, which I really like
Yeah.
to like just throw on for my everyday wear, or if I'm gonna go in the gym and do like, I don't know, nothing that's like bounding or dynamic. Like I ran in
Yeah.
them for a little bit, and then I put my Innovates back on, and I was like, running shoes. I was like, now I remember. I was like, man, I feel like I'm running
Yeah.
slow. Um, because they're relaxed. Good morning, Evelyn. More shoe talk, yes, always. Shoes are important. I think I'm actually gonna purge all of my shoes. I purged a pair of like brand new Metcons, not brand new, but that I just didn't wear anymore. I purged my lifters that I've had for like 8 years. I chucked them. I'm just ready. I have the original Metcon in the colorway and the Wadapalooza Nano 5. And so those are like my only two
Dude, the Nano
nostalgic
fives are
shoes.
so good.
It's my
Can you
favorite
pull
shoe.
those quick for me? I want to see what those look like from the Wadapalooza colorway. I don't know what those look like.
Um,
I
yeah,
want to hear
they're in.
everybody's thoughts in the comments too. What are your
They're,
favorite shoe? CrossFit or
what you know?
non-CrossFit
All right, I'll
related?
be right. Let me get the shoe. Hold on, it's in the garage somewhere.
I always feel so conflicted because I really like a nice like Vans colorway. Like I got super wide feet, so I can wear them, but like you tell me to do anything active in them, and I'm busting them out the sides. I'm looking at my shoe rack right now. I have a pair of Air Maxes that I really like, but yeah, let me know in the comments like what kind of if you guys have a favorite pair of shoes, whether it be like just comfort shoes. Like I always really struggle with shoes, to be honest with you, in terms of finding one that I like. But or I mean, obviously CrossFit related too. I just recently got the Born Primitives, and I will say I really like them. They're honestly like they might be like my favorite CrossFit shoe or training shoe. I was a big Nano guy for a really long time, but the Nanos became really inconsistent for me. Became really like hit or miss. Um, I don't think I ever even like tried a Metcon or a Noble just because I know they look super super wide. Yeah, like us, I really like the Savage ones. I have them in black, and like they don't look like they'd be good for rope climbs. Like they look like they'd be eaten up. But I really really like them. So yeah, pretty comfy, dude. Those are sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Minimal, like
Yeah. So the fives were always minimal with this like the whatever they call it Kevlar, right?
yeah yeah
And
yeah
this was my favorite training shoe ever. I had
yeah.
two pairs of these, but this is my second pair. Buddy gave me his. He keeps shoes in much better condition than I do. So these are from 2000. These are 10 years old now. And then I had a pair of fives like from that time frame.
I have a pair of
Um,
fives too. They are so beaten up though.
yeah.
But those are my first
Mm-hmm.
ever CrossFit shoes. Let's
Um,
see here. Camille. Yeah, I mean, I know some people that like the people like the Innovate crew, like they live and die by the Innovates.
I every time a new shoe comes out or something, I've always been, I was just like, an athlete will like get a pair or at the games, right? Or something, right?
hmm
Like I'll always, I'll just get a pair, right? Like I won't buy brand new shoes all the time. Like my buddy is a shoe fanatic and we wear the same size. And so when he gets bored of it, I'll just get shoes in the mail like all the
That's
time.
sick. That's a
And
good friend right there.
it's a good friend. Yeah, he's a good friend. And he might watch the show. He won't watch this one though. And so, um, but I always end up back at Innovates. Like I'm in 235s right now. I'm probably gonna buy a
Yeah.
new pair. Like some gum. I just wish they made like Innovate is they're just like the tried and true. Like they don't try to like
Hmm.
be it's funny, they're called Innovates, but they don't try to be innovative. Like they stick with a
Yeah.
new color and then they kind of hang with it. I do want to try the Savage ones just because I think they look good and
I like them. I
they
got them right
look
here.
they look a lot like Innovates in general. Yeah. They look, I mean, so
Do they?
um
Okay. I never made that comparison, but I've never tried the Innovates, but
I
I
think
like
they
them a
do. I
lot.
mean, those probably look more like a Nano 6 to the most that I'm like
Yeah. Or a 7. That was
I
my
yeah,
favorite one. The 7 like
I can't
weaves.
remember what's the
Oh my
difference between
goodness.
Nano 6 and 7. I can't remember.
The
Nano
7 I
6.
found to be wider, and it also had kind of like the weave mesh on the top part of the outsole.
Okay, that's
Those are
right.
my
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think those
Okay.
were my
Oh,
favorite.
then I meant 7. I meant 7. I think
Yeah,
I
those
didn't
I
like the
think were probably
6s.
my favorite ever. I remember I was back home from
Um
college
no,
and
maybe it was
I had
8s. Was 8s
worn
my
I
favorite?
had the oh I
Oh, it was 8s.
hated the eights.
8s.
Oh,
I
the
wore
eights were
8s for
so
a
bad
long
for me.
time. I wore 8s for a
They're
long time.
comfortable, but
Me
like they
and
were
Sarah,
squishy. Mm,
Robertson, one of my athletes, wore 8s and we wore 8s forever because like I had moved away from Innovates.
yeah.
Um
I
Evan, how
feel
do you
like it's
know I
kind
hate
of a
barefoot? Yeah, I don't like barefoot training. Um I do like the New Balance Minimus though. Like of all of the true minimal trainers,
really.
yeah, I think they just look the best because most minimal trainers I think just look goofy. Like it looks like you're wearing like a pool shoe, you know? Um uh
CJ, what
what
are
do
your
you,
thoughts on the toe shoes?
no. Fuck no.
No?
Dude, you know they had a class action lawsuit against them like forever ago?
No way.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Not the toe shoes?
they claimed all that. I mean, this was like 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
like within the
Yeah, I
first
remember
few
like it was
years
like
that they came out.
2011 was like yeah, kind of
Yeah.
when they
Um, you guys, what do you want us to show on the screen? Um, uh, oh,
who wants the toe shoes.
you like my new background up there? I think that looks pretty cool. Like my little faded. I'm learning
We need to but Kim,
canvas,
I know it's like hard for us to move it, but like it looks like it just says odd prep
odd
because
prep.
like our faces are on the W, like where the W is.
Let's see if I can adjust it. I don't think I can. That's all right. Let's go back to this. Whoa, there we go. Um, what just happened? Remove. There we go. That's what I was trying to move. I like the Minimus. I think Innovate makes a minimal shoe too. They
Yeah.
look kind of goofy, but they're okay. But I think I'm gonna go. I think these 245s look really nice. I think I'm gonna get a pair. But they have like the Roadrunners, these Bear XF. We'll share. Whoops. Present. Stop screen. I can't share. Here we go. Nope. There. This one. I have this shoe. It's nice. It's while it's a
Yeah.
minimal, it's really stiff. So I don't know, whatever you like. Um, toe shoe phase blows. Everyone was in that for a while. Kettlebell guys are still into that shit. They walk around, you know. I don't know. I don't know what hippies and kettlebell swingers have to do with each other, but they do.
Growing up, did you have a shoe that like you coveted and wanted really bad that you never got?
That I never got probably is Jordans.
Yeah.
Like a pair of just like nice white Jordans. Like my dad was not about that life.
I
Even though
never like got into Jordans. I
I
don't know
actually want to
why.
get a pair just like of white. Like I just want like a white
Hmm.
nice shoe to wear with clothes. That's not like, so I basically went from like
Are you like a student sneaker kind of guy?
no, I
See,
mean
I
I wore
am.
like case no. I wore like what did I wear in school? Like Reebok classics, and then like K Swiss like in middle school.
K
Um
Swiss. There you go.
and And so I kept them clean. You know, like I had like a white pair and a black pair that like I
Yeah.
would match with everything. And then like once I got to high school, we just wore our like our what do they call them? Like our baseball trainers. I don't know, whatever they were called, right? Like
Sure, sure,
our
sure.
practice shoes. Like I just wore that every
Yeah.
day. Like I didn't wear anything else in high
Always wearing the
school.
warm ups, got the backpack with the two bats between it. Oh
No,
yeah.
we couldn't. We weren't allowed. We actually
Oh,
weren't
you
allowed
couldn't
to
wear
bring
those?
it.
Ah,
No, we could. Well, we couldn't bring it into school. We were.
makes sense.
There was
Yeah.
definitely a point like where if you walked in with that, someone could snag it
Yeah.
and a fight would
That's
break out.
fair. Now that I'm thinking
Weaponize
about it,
it.
we probably couldn't wear those in school either, but I saw my friends with them all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, and so I don't think I had nice. And then I got to college, and so my nice shoes turned into like Sperry's. I mean, that's like I've owned like 10 pairs of Sperry's over the last 10 years,
Oh yeah. That frat life.
dude. That's it, man. Khaki shorts and a polo, button down. That's it. That was it for a long time. And then I threw all my polos away after PT school, like all of them. I didn't even care. Even
Yeah.
if I like if it was new, I was like, I'm never wearing a polo again.
When you're a PT in a CrossFit clinic, you're shirtless.
I was shirtless. I was shirtless way too much early in my career. It's super
Heck
unprofessional.
yeah.
Super unprofessional. Um,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
it just
would treat.
depends on who's setting the standards of professionalism, you know?
No, it's unprofessional. There's no, it's unprofessional. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be shirtless treating
No, probably not.
patients. Definitely not. Um, what's everyone's plans for the weekend? Who's watching? Who's hanging out? All 22 of you. I want all 22 of you to comment right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What are my plans for the weekend? I feel like I have a busy weekend. I think my wife has a bunch of stuff. She has a baby shower. She has a girls' brunch.
Nice.
So we're hanging out with Bennett a lot this weekend solo, which will be good. I enjoy hanging out with little man solo. I had to keep him home yesterday. Wednesday night, he chucked sausage all over Perrin, like threw up everywhere, like right before bed, just
Oh,
like
okay.
everywhere. So he was losing it. Like we had to put him in the bath at like 10 o'clock at night.
Camille's baking cupcakes.
Um,
Huskers are looking good.
Huskers football. You know who's looking
They got
good? You know who's looking good?
them Canes. I'm a
Bum,
big Canes guy.
let's go, baby.
If my
Oh, look,
parents
Adam.
had any go for a hike. There you go.
This is the owner of Third Z hanging out, making sure that we do our job. Again, guys, if you're interested, Third Z, best sleep supplement on the market. Scan the QR code. Canes, baby. Cam Ward was all in the news yesterday. I guess they did a big interview piece on him on sports on ESPN. I didn't look at it though.
Yeah.
Just baby time.
I'm
6-week
going
old. Aaron is not sleeping for sure.
I had this
Congrats.
conversation with somebody yesterday. What is
I'm ready.
considered like at what point is it like no longer like what's the progression of like infant, baby, toddler? Like I don't know where that's at.
I mean, well, infant baby is more generalized like that.
Right.
It would be like not toddler is pretty much like once they're, I would say there isn't like a specific, but I would say it's probably once they're crawling, they're turning into a
Okay.
toddler right there. So like into, about that point, right? Like toddler just
Yeah.
seems like the concept seems mobile, right? Like I feel like there's some ideas.
Oh, okay. And then at what point do you stop saying the age in months?
I
feel like that's
stopped.
tricky.
I stopped like somewhere between 18 months and 2 years. So like I would say because 18 months and
if somebody
21
tells me
months is
like 31 months, I'm not.
no,
doing
that's
the
weird.
math.
No,
I'm sorry.
no. So like when he turned like after 21 months, I was like, he's almost 2 is what I just started saying.
Yeah.
And so now I'll say he's like 2, and then you'll say 2.5, and then 3, and then from 3 to 4, you probably stop saying it at that point completely.
It's like even 21. That's a big ask for math.
Well, but it is, but it's like, but the difference between 18 months and 2 years is ginormous, right? Like even in their size and everything like that. So like you say it, at least for me, this is just me personally, you say it to like signify like where they are in development. Because the reason people are asking, right, is because they're assessing the child. And not that like I need them to assess my kid appropriately. I don't give a shit. But like that's why they ask, like, oh, how old is he? And then they think, oh, he's big, or he has a lot of hair, or he's really mobile, or he's smart, or he's dumb. You know what I mean? Like that's like those are the things that come through. And if you're like, oh, he's 4, or like you're just like, or he's like, he's 2, but he's not 2 yet, right? And he's like barely walking, like, oh, then like those things kind of like run through, you know what I mean? They kind of like run through your head.
I don't, but that's just because I haven't experienced that yet. Because like if a baby's like I don't like. I mean, a baby could like somebody could be 4, and I don't know if they're supposed to be talking to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but got it.
This is the only appropriate way to refer to your dog. Duke is 6 months.
Huh?
Nothing. He said 7. He said he refers to his dog in months.
Oh, age in months.
Age in months. That's right. Duke is 76 months. That's right. Whatever this was, I missed this. Not the Seminoles. I agree 100%. Seminoles suck so bad. That's what happens when this is they're a good example of the like
Transfer portal.
leaning into it and it being successful one year, extremely successful, and then the next year maybe not so much. But I do think that they were, they were solely good because of their quarterback. My man, this is my guy, 5-month-old. Is that too old to say how old they are? Huh? Nelson?
Well, dude, when you start like, if I can't count it on my fingers, it's tough sledding for me. So like, I feel like at that point, like, I mean, I don't know. I would just say like a year and a half. Like I just don't. I never understood the idea.
Yeah.
But I know there's a big difference between like what goes on between like 1 and 2.
Huge difference. That's like it's like being think of the difference between 1 and 2 as like a 12-year-old versus an 18-year-old.
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I took a motor development class in undergrad at some point.
That's good. Yeah.
I learned all like the little reflexes that like, like if you put a baby, like they do this, or like if you touch them, they like.
Yep.
I learned all those at some point.
That's good. You could be a PT. Perfect.
Dude.
Sign them up.
I could.
Sign them up.
I did one shadowing at Pivot, which is like a chain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, folding blankets? I don't know if that's for me.
Dude. It sucks. Oh my gosh. I went to school with, I think we graduated with 50, like in our
that's big. I feel like that's usually not that big. At least it's some of my friends' PT schools up here.
They're huge. Yeah. They're all, Florida has so many PTs getting popped out. It's crazy. Did WODprep just post a video? I don't even know. Did they? Let's see. Is it raining outside? No. Videos. Yep, 54 seconds ago. Top 5 movements for gymnastics movements for beginners. What do you guys want to see? There's 21 people in here. If we were to make content, what would you guys want to see us make? Like not just me and Nelson talking shit on the internet, like actual YouTube It is raining. Oh yeah, it's fucking pouring. What would you guys want to see us make? What would help you the most as a CrossFit athlete? Gus, you're forbidden to answer. What were we talking about before that? I don't know.
PT stuff.
But... Oh yeah, PT stuff. I graduated with like, I don't know, roughly 50 people, and most of them passed. Maybe it wasn't 50. I think it was 50 actually. Let's just say it was 30. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Anyways, most of us passed our boards on the first try. A few didn't. A few took a little longer. And so this was 2016 fall. And so we, of those 40, I know that 15 to 20 don't do anything PT anymore. It's so frustrating. So much money.
Yeah.
So much money. I mean, $120,000 and
that's why I smiled, Gus. That's why I smiled.
Yeah. Perfect. We will do we'll definitely do some videos where we just take bands, hang them from the rig, and then you can just hang from the bands. It'll be perfect. Gus, I'll teach you exactly what to do. You might be unalived, but it'll work. It'll work really well. You'll get really flexible in your ankles. Um, yeah,
Look at CJ with that
it's so
social media,
frustrating. Huh?
like TikTok algorithm talk.
Oh,
I like it. He's
unalive.
media trained. He's media
um,
trained.
uh, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating, right? And then I see people or kids are like, "Oh, I want to do PT," and I'm like, "Don't do PT." Like, well, I want to do what you do, and I was like, "This is such a
Yeah.
unique
Yeah.
thing that we fell into, and it's just not, you know, like more of what we do now and what I was able to do and get like take this route was business driven and not PT
Yeah.
driven, right? Like the PT thing just gave me some authority in the space, and then everything else was the fact that I enjoy business talk
Taking,
and
yeah.
marketing and things like that, and then and even more so that I had a good coaching background in CrossFit, right? And that I wasn't totally shitty at it.
I mean,
That
correct me
helped
if
a
I'm
lot.
wrong, but like I feel like compared to maybe like 2016, like you are seeing more alternative routes to like traditional outpatient
Hmm.
PT popping up. Um, but like it's a big risk, I feel like,
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's
if
always a
you get
risk. Well, the
yeah.
so have you? I know you haven't done a ton of reading. That I didn't mean to jab at you. So this book
What's
right
that
here.
supposed to mean? I can't
No,
read?
no, it's called 4 Hour Work Week. Okay, and it was like one of the first books I read is by
Mhm.
Tim Ferriss. Um, uh, and the main thing of that is it's a book on how to make a 4 hour work week, right? To like
Sure.
automate your life and like get virtual assistants and things like that. But the number one theme that I took from it early on, because I definitely don't work 4 hour work week. I still work like a 50 plus hour work week most weeks, is that you um when you're taking a risk, you establish what's the worst that could happen. Okay.
Mhm.
Right? Like you're a great example too. But so I'm a PT, I'm licensed, I have a doctorate, I can practice anywhere, I have the education, I can get hired. What's the worst that can happen for me trying to go off on my own and do my own thing? Right? Is that it doesn't work. That's it. That's the only risk,
Yeah.
is that it doesn't work. Right? I didn't take out loans, I didn't take out a business loan, right? Like I deferred my loan payments, right? I got on a payment plan, all that kind of stuff, right? And so what's the worst that can happen? And if the worst that can happen is not that bad, which is just me going to do what every one of my other classmates did,
Mhm.
right? Then why not try it, right? And so that's what drove me
Sure.
early on, right? Is to um like let's just take the risk, right? I didn't know anything about running a business. I didn't know anything about accounting or taxes or expenses or I mean not one thing. I knew how to coach CrossFit and I knew how to make people feel better about doing CrossFit. And that was it. And then everything else was self-taught. And so the risk is always big, but there'll never be less risk
Mhm.
than currently, right? So like even for you, right? Like every month that you get older, you'll probably accrue a little more debt. You might get a
Yeah.
girlfriend, which means then you might have a family. And then so like the risk gets higher and higher and higher as you get older because the fact of you not having any money is more and more and more detrimental to your life, right? Like when I was right out of school, parent had a job. It didn't make a lot, but it made enough to pay our bills. So it was like, let's just try and figure this out now before we have
Yeah.
kids and we can't afford to not be making a certain amount of money, etc. It's so but to do that stuff, right? Like you have to be okay not having an income come in, right? You have to understand
For
that
sure.
a W2 is the biggest joke ever, right? Like, like, oh, I'm not getting benefits or oh, I'm not getting healthcare and like all of these things that people argue with me about of why being a contractor is better. They don't get it because they don't want to put in that time and effort and think about it like that, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's interesting. But it takes more work overall, but the reward is just so much higher.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And I mean, like, I think so much of it comes down to like, and like I had this conversation with my dad when I was like exiting grad school, when I was thinking about like doing the
the
CrossFit
first
stuff
time.
like full time, like the very first time. Well, I mean, the very first time was like out of high school, but like the first time, like seriously. And I was just like, man, like I just don't understand the concept of like doing something for money that you don't really care that much about doing. Like you don't actually like passionately enjoy. And he's like, well, and like, he's been like a chef for like 40 plus years and like I think enjoys it, but like, you know, he's like, well, you just have to do stuff you don't want to do to, live the life you want to live. I'm like, I don't know if you have to do it that way. Um, and like that was like a big point of contention. Um, and I mean, and we've since like, like revisited that conversation. He's like, yeah, it's like really cool. And like it inspired him to kind of like walk away from his job and like really
You
find out what he
inspired your
wants to
dad to walk
do.
away from his job? That's
I
fucking
mean, not
sick.
just me, but yeah, like both,
That's
I think
cool,
my
man.
sister and I. Yeah. And I mean, like now he's still a chef, but he's like a private chef,
Mm-hmm.
and like works
That's
for
cool.
himself. And like, yes, I mean, and it was a lot of conversations like that. Um, because I mean, yeah, like, and he helped me because like during COVID, like I came back to live at home and he's like, yeah, like and his and I relationship was like not great because of all this and then like other stuff. And I was like, hey man, like, can I live at home and like try and make this CrossFit thing work? And he's like, sure you can. Like, this is the rent that you have to pay. Like, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and like made it work. And yeah, like, and it was a lot of him too, also like recognizing that like what he was doing was like actually affecting his mental health in a very negative way, which he
Sure.
like never really understood as a legitimate thing to worry about. Um, and he like told my sister and I, he's like, yeah, like I just like feel like it was like affecting and like giving me anxiety. And I was like, whoa, like that's cool that like you just made that sentence. Um, so yeah, like it is wild, like the idea of like betting on yourself and like being, especially like for him now, right? Because he's now reached like the other side of that spectrum where like both my sister and I are relatively like functioning adults. So like he can now kind of revisit that timeline that you were just talking about of like risk aversion where like he doesn't have like children to be like paying for and feeding for. He's like kind of like on his own again, so he can be a little bit more like risky with what he wants to do, which I think that was like never in his mind frame. But he was raising two
Yeah.
kids, so
So I think on the flip side of that, right? I do think that there's two concepts of like work, right? You live to work, which
hmm
is like you really have a huge passion for what you do. But there's
yeah,
also a point where like you work to live, right? So like my
yeah,
job, like so you do a job so that it can sustain the life that you want, right? Not
right,
everyone feels the need to have this massive passion with their job. Maybe they make good money, it's easy, they can turn it off, right? So the challenge with living to work, right, is like when you're that passionate about your job, it never stops. And some people just don't
sure,
want that,
definitely,
right? Even
yeah,
if it's a 9 to 5, right? Like that person that's super passionate about that job, even if it's a 9 to 5, usually struggles to turn off a little bit more, right? That job permeates into their outside life,
hmm
you know? And so you have to establish like what it is, right? Um, and so I think it's okay to do that. Now, if it completely makes you miserable and like there's like obviously like a turning point, right? Or a bell curve where it's like, okay, this is, even though, this isn't your favorite thing, like it helps you live the exact life that you want, right? Like you get a lot of vacation days, you can travel a lot,
right,
there's not a lot of stress, and it allows you to do what you want to do in your family life. And, your schedule's great, right? You're 7 to 3 every day. You get to pick up your son or your kid from work or from school every day and take
hmm
them to practice and be there, and you never have to think about work. You know what I mean? And so your your dad, for example,
yeah.
probably was more similar to that, right? I mean, maybe
I
not. I mean,
mean,
chef life is
in
hard.
that
Yeah,
industry,
it's hard. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
So
little tough.
so but like when you have kids, right? Like,
Yeah,
you just need it to
yeah, I think that's a big
facilitate whatever
factor.
that life is, right?
Yeah,
And we're fortunate enough that we get to, my job is my passion, right? Like,
Hmm.
but it permeates every minute of my life every day. Like the only
Yeah.
time that I'm not really focusing on work, right, is when I'm like locked in with Bennett and Perrin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even my personal time is about work. My work time is
Hmm.
obviously about work. And so my only time that it's not is family time. And to be honest, right now, like where we are in the company and it's like even in my family time, it's hard for me to fully turn off and be fully present, right? Even though I
Hmm.
love what I do, right? So I think there's definitely benefits. And then I see some of my classmates, the 20 that are still doing PT, most of them that are still doing it don't really like it, but they make decent enough money and they travel all
Yeah.
the time, right? Because like either they don't have kids or they take basically they just take as much time off as possible because when they leave, they don't care, right? Like their notes are
Right.
done,
Right.
they're not taking notes home, all of that kind of stuff. So like when they clock out, it's completely done and they clock in. And so sometimes that's okay, right? But I do understand what you're saying, right? It shouldn't like bring down the quality of your life, right? Whatever you
Yeah. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
should help the quality of life that you're looking for, right? But at the same time, like just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that's what you get to do, right? Like if it
Sure.
doesn't
Sure.
help
Sure.
facilitate the life that you want to live, right? Like I'm passionate about fucking training CrossFit. But guess what? I don't get paid to do CrossFit. I get paid to coach CrossFit. Thus, I have to do the coaching thing, even though I would probably rather be an athlete, but I'm not good enough. So here we
Yeah.
are, right? You know what I mean? So like and so I think there's a balance. There's like a tipping point, right? Of it. You know, like you still have responsibilities or you still have this like outside look of like wherever you want to go. Now, if you don't have responsibilities, you don't care how much money you make, then passion driven work is probably okay for that person. But again, if you have those things that
Right.
you need, you want to facilitate this certain life, like your job has to help facilitate that life.
Yeah. And I think maybe I should like rephrase it to where, like, I just think, like you said, it's different for each person. Like for me, like I had a hard time understanding that. Like I have a buddy who like works in consulting,
Hmm.
and like dude makes an insane amount of money, and the hours are like kind of intense, but then when he's done, and like he like does CrossFit for fun, he like does like biking and triathlon stuff for fun,
Hmm.
and still is able to do all the stuff he wants to do. He can go like remote work in like Romania or Paris or something for like 6 or 8 weeks. um and yeah, like I don't think he particularly like enjoys what he does. I think
Hmm.
like a lot of that stuff is more like kind of like problem solving type stuff, and he enjoys that, but the actual work itself is like meh. But it affords him to do whatever he wants to do. So it's just that trade off of like, do you want it to sustain a life that allows you to do whatever you want to do, or uh, do something that you really enjoy, but then be somewhat like constrained by like the constraints of that passion.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, up until we win the CrossFit Games, and then we'll have no constraints.
that's right. Um, One day, hopefully, when you start following WODprep programming, I think you'll make your next step.
2042.
What?
Yeah,
What is that? What's 24? It's 18 years from now?
I don't know. That's just like
A number? A random
a
number?
number that I threw out there.
18? How
I'd
old are
be
you? You
four,
40s?
40. I'd
Two?
be 43.
Three?
43.
325?
Yeah,
When's your birthday?
December.
You'll be 26? Dang.
Yeah,
Over a quarter century.
yeah, dude. We're
Into
definitely
your
having a
next
little bit of a
quarter.
crisis,
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
dude. No,
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna have like
I
dyed
can't
hair,
I can't imagine. I know. I'm very excited to be on your life journey with you.
be
Probably
on my
for
journey,
be a for
dude.
foreseeable future when you start panicking because you found your first gray hair.
No, see, I'm not. That stuff is stupid. For me, it's
You
more
just
like
said you would dye
internal
your hair.
process
You
stuff.
what?
Yeah, no, but that's not because I have. No, I mean dye my hair like purple or something. Not like a
Uh-uh.
color, not like that.
No. Not here.
But
You're outward facing. I get to decide that stuff. Nope.
yeah, can I get a nose piercing? Because that actually is something I want.
Don't you have your ear
Little
pierced?
stud right there. I have both. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Two piercings is
No
enough for our males
tattoos.
in WOD prep. Of course.
Oh, but okay, but so like the piercing cutoff is two, but tattoos are unlimited.
Unlimited.
Dude, I don't know. Like
Just no face tats. No face tats or neck tats. No like
dude,
raggarts. No raggarts.
no raggarts. I I like, dude, like those. My sister has a ton of them. She has like over uh like 12 or something,
Tattoos?
and they're all really cool. And like I just can't foresee myself finding something that's significant to get one. Or
Mm-hmm.
and like she's of the mindset of just like it doesn't even necessarily need to be significant. If it looks really, really cool, then it's just like a piece of art that she wants to have on her all the time. Which I mean, like I totally respect, and some of them are
Yeah.
super sick. But yeah, it's just like I want to get one, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
The chat is thrown. They didn't know you were
Yeah,
26. He's a baby. It's all right. We had to hire
yeah.
someone young, and we were gonna age ourselves out of the sport. We gotta live
Dude, if you
vicariously
would have
through
hired me the
Nelson.
first time, I would have been 20, like
21.
2,
Yeah,
21. Yeah.
21. I know. That's why we didn't hire you. Um,
Yeah, I know.
uh, so if I didn't meet Perrin, I met Perrin when I was 20, right when I was turning 21. Well, technically when I was 19, and
Hmm.
then we didn't get together, and then we kind of like circled back to it like a year later ish. And so when I was 20, had I not met, and this was sophomore year, junior year, um, had I not met Perrin then, I would have been, I would have had a lot of tattoos, a lot,
Yeah. Oh,
100%.
yeah.
And it just like, she was like, nah, like she would like cordially
Don't
and
do
like
that.
polite me, talk me out of it, or like politely talk me out of it. Um, uh,
What kind of tattoos would you want? Were they just like traditional, like black and or like the regular ink, or like
I probably
watercolors?
would have
Like what
had
kinds of?
some of my fraternity tats, a
Yeah.
few of them, at one point. Uh, um, damn, this is aggressive. Both dudes, like Jesus. All right, trolls in the chat. I love
It
it.
is
Um,
8:46 in the morning.
I know. And so, and then I just would have but my dad's tatted from wrist to wrist. Um,
Yeah.
and so I probably would have got a sleeve, like I don't know, like I always wanted like a traditional like tap type sleeve, like I don't know how they do it in Thailand, like they like
I would
actually like
like
tap
the.
like so like just the way that they do it, it's kind of just like, I
Oh,
don't
I
know,
saw a video
markings.
for that the other day. That looks so painful,
Yeah, so
dude. Yeah,
but I
I
mean, I
saw
just
that.
would have, I don't know, probably some like super corny cheesy shit. At some point I was a pretty dumb kid.
No regrets.
No, nothing like that. If I would have got him when I was really young, I mean, I got both my tattoos before I turned 18 with my parents.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my sister
So,
got, I think, her first one the day she turned 18.
yep. So anyways, it is what it is. I still think I'm gonna try and get like a calf sleeve or something like that at some point.
No, you can't hide them big old calves. You
No,
gotta let the world see them for what they
that's
are.
why you just shadow them perfectly and they'll look even bigger.
Okay. There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, this is true. Gus knows the story. If I never met Perrin, this show doesn't exist. That's probably very true. Um,
Butterfly effect, man.
yeah, that's right. We went over that. Um, but anyways, almost 3 p.m. That's right. Maggie's in Stockholm, I think. Uh, anything else? Has anyone else have anything? User in Oklahoma. You want to talk about anything else there, champ?
Dude, it's even it's even earlier over there. That man's typing that comment at like 6 in the
No,
morning.
I think
Are they
Oklahoma is
Central
still
Time?
Central Time. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Gus would know. Gus lives in Kansas or something.
Kansas.
Time
Topeka.
zone. Yeah, same time. That's funny. Topeka. That's my street name.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's like if you've ever I feel like you're a little too old for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Does that ring a bell?
It does. I don't know. Oh,
It's like a
Iowa. He lives in
show
Iowa.
in
Sorry, buddy.
Iowa.
That's right. I knew that.
Um,
Ate it.
that was a show on Cartoon Network, and that was like a funny thing that
I
like
never
you
got
ever
into
just had like
cartoon.
things from
I ne- I never got into Cartoon Network.
what?
No, I was like a Nickelodeon
Dang.
kid. Like,
I mean, I was
and
too. I mean, I ran the gambit with it, but
I
dude, they
didn't
have some
know.
great shows.
I just never
Ed,
really
Ed and
liked them.
Eddie.
I mean, I watched a little bit of Ed, Edd n Eddy. I just never found it super entertaining.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. I mean, dude,
I always felt it
a
was
lot of
weird.
my
I just felt like it was
dude.
so weird.
I've gone back
It
and
was
like
such a weird.
watched like just
It's
clips
even
from that
fucking
now.
more weird now.
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
know what they thought they were doing to the children of America with that one, but
I
it
know
wasn't good.
all of them were weird. And what was the other weird one at that time?
Ren and Stimpy was a little aggressive,
Ren and
honestly.
Stimpy. What? But that wasn't Cartoon Network. That was
Natalie
Nickelodeon,
saying
right?
no, that was Nickelodeon. Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog's on HBO Max. I mean, it's honestly like from like an artistic standpoint, pretty cool, but like it should not be shown to kids. It's like there's so many like
That's like the
adult
farm one, right?
cartoons now.
That's the one
Yeah,
like
they
he's on
live
the
on a
farm.
farm in the
Yeah,
middle of
yeah.
nowhere,
Super
and like
fucking
there's just
weird.
all this like demonic but like
Right.
the art style in which it's done in is like I think pretty creative.
So just so the
Like,
chat knows, Nelson will take cartoons and turn them into like pure philosophical
dude,
combos. Every single one.
they
Don't
are.
they're not. They're not. They're cartoons.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
Yeah, but like just because they're cartoons doesn't mean that they can't be like stuff within them. Like, dude, like
I
I mean,
agree.
and you think I'm intense? Like, you ever seen Rick and Morty?
Well, yeah,
Like,
I mean
they're people
that's
that
like a
go
cult following.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they go
currently.
crazy on that stuff. But I mean, it's a cartoon, but like
I was a
it's
basic kid.
pretty.
I was a basic kid. I was
Yeah.
kind of fat. I was like kind of nerdy and yeah, I don't know. I just
What does
watched
that?
basic.
What does that have to do with anything?
I didn't have these like deep thoughts into what I was watching.
I don't think I had them as a kid. It's just that I continued watching them into it like as an adult.
That's probably why I stopped I
Yeah.
just same thing with video games. I like self limited that sort of stuff. God.
Natalie, I've heard that comment. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's true because like the dude who created it
All right.
was like a marine biologist. Here we
So
go.
Nelson has the probably like a ranking in the top percentile of like knowledge of SpongeBob. So I feel like whatever he's about to say has validity, whether he agrees with the statement or not.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it. It's just that knowing the like creator of it, like he definitely wanted to like educate kids on like like sea life. So I don't know if it was really, but I know like a lot of those people like struggle to find like an outlet in terms of like they go to them with this really good idea that they're really passionate about, and like just studios like shoot it down or don't shoot it down. And I feel like it's just like TV in general, right? Like you
Are they
never
still
know
making new
when you're
SpongeBob
shooting a
episodes?
pilot. Like so
How
they
many
had it
seasons?
went through I think 14. Heck yeah, dude, that's what it's about.
This is
Like CrossFit is literally just
Nelson.
a means of connecting people.
That's right. This is Nelson's like swan song now. He's taking over the
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is just like, yes, like SpongeBob had a period where the creator was like completely 100% involved, and then he left, and then he came back, and then he unfortunately passed away. But yeah, and that's like I asked that question on my social media, and I'm curious for people in the chat. If you have kids that like are either like my age or younger, or I guess older, or like you had the opportunity to watch, like did your parents let you watch it, or if you had kids, did you let your kids watch it or not? Because it's a pretty like divisive
I
like
feel like
combo
at
with that
some
show
point
in
I
particular.
remember my mom being like, "We're not watching SpongeBob anymore." But I
Yeah,
was never monitored as a kid, like ever,
yeah, I wasn't either.
right? Uh, well, Gus, this is different. I mean, you don't have kids yet, and so I mean, your kids won't even watch TV until forever. And everyone says they
Oh,
won't
my
let their
kids will
kids
definitely
watch.
be watching cartoons for sure.
Um, uh, Cartoons are just different now, right? Like SpongeBob is still minimally digitized, right? And so like it's not
What do you mean?
like just the way that they create the graphics on there, right? Is
Oh, I
like
don't know, man. Some of these new ones, and it's honestly like getting gross because I think that's what made the show so good, is that they did so much with so little.
yeah,
But now
so
it's like
but
wickedly
like
overproduced.
if you compare it to like Paw Patrol and like these other shows like that are just like
Hmm.
flashing lights, high blue, like
Hmm.
SpongeBob doesn't have that kind of stuff, right? Still.
Right, 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 right.
But so like that's a lot different. And then Gus, I hope this is parlaying into you saying you're never going to let your kids watch TV. And then I hope that I'm still doing this podcast once you have kids. and I want to come back and you let me know how little or how much TV your kids watch. Um, uh, so
We love that, Camille.
yeah, Camille, I love
I
SpongeBob. I
had
gave her SpongeBob
SpongeBob
thing
bed sheets
right there.
until I was maybe 14 or 15.
You meant to say 24 or 25.
Dude,
Anyways,
I'd still have them if I still had them. I don't know where they went.
what did you just say?
Like if I still had them, I'd have them right now. I don't know if that makes sense, but
It
you know what I'm
doesn't.
saying. Like
Does
I
Red
don't own them
Zone?
anymore, but if I did, Red Zone absolutely counts as television. Dude, one of my
Yeah,
friends
but
was
it's
telling me
better.
the other
So
day.
just to be fair, sorry to cut you off. I
Uh-huh.
do I don't mind having the TV on when it's not a Bennett show, like when it's not a cartoon. But when it's a cartoon or like when we're watching Cars, his thing's about cars. So we watch Cars on the weekend
He
and
loves cars.
dude, fucking locked in, man.
He
Like
loves
locked in.
cars.
But I like movies better than TV shows, especially older
Uh-huh.
Pixar, because while there is a lot of blue, and it doesn't like when you watch like he likes Blaze, which is like this like monster truck show, you know, they like solve. I mean, it literally taught him how to count. Like he's one and he counts to 20, right? And he did learn that through Blaze, which is kind of nice. I mean, we count with him, we work with him a lot too, um, uh, but he watches that, you know, at night for like one or two episodes. But he's so locked in, and I'm like, I hate it. I hate it. Like it's just so frustrating to watch my son like glued to a TV, fucking
Yeah.
Crusher. He knows. Christian knows. Crusher's weird. He's like the kind of like the antagonist in the show. It's not really a bad guy, but he's kind of like an antagonist in the show. Um, uh, he loves pickle. And anyways, um, so I just hate it. But you know, it is what it is, and you know, we try not to put it on often. So you know, it's impossible to like completely go without TV all the time, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we have to like because if the TV is off, we're playing with him, like we're locked in with him. And so he gets home at 3 and he doesn't go to bed till 7 and it's it's tough like to be like completely locked in and not do like not make lunch and not cook dinner and not do a little bit of work. And so it's just challenging to like to maneuver that the whole time because again when the TV's off like and we're not paying attention to him, he's under our feet and he's like mama dada cars, right? You
Yeah.
know, he's just like
Cars.
play with me, you know. And so um yeah, he does a little bit of independent play on the weekends. He does more independent play with daddy than mommy. When mommy's around, he doesn't do a lot of independent play. But if it's just me in the house, he'll play by himself pretty well. Um, it's like if I keep him home from school. Anyways, it's tough, man. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I don't know about like the unregulated like YouTube scrolling and stuff like that.
That's
Crazy.
a different ball game.
Yeah.
Like that's I think it's just also like the world's changed so much, dude. Because like it's like because I mean you used to have to like pay for YouTube. Like I don't know if you remember that. That was like really really early on, like
I
2005 to
don't
2007.
what?
Yeah, like before YouTube got acquired by Google, you had to have a member like an account, and it cost like $5 a month or something.
I don't are you
Like
sure?
I'm almost 100% because I remember having to ask my parents to like help me make a YouTube account because like it was a very very short period, um, and I just remember like the stuff that I would search on YouTube
No, it's never
was
costed money to be.
really okay. Well, then
Uh-uh.
I don't know what I
Maybe
was
you just had to like create
paying
an
them.
account. I don't think so.
Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay, but I mean either way, really early on, like just the stuff that like was available on YouTube was just so different than it was now. Like I was
Oh
looking
yeah.
up like best Pokemon cards, like like just like you know, and just watching that for hours. And now kids like have
Compilations.
access to like of like Pokemon card stuff, and now it's just dude, basically for like a 7-year-old. Like I don't know if anybody this is a very niche thing, but I was like super into like Dragon Ball
It's not
as
that
like
niche,
a
dude.
kid.
Dragon
But
Balls.
like meaning that like I would go on YouTube and type in like Goku like Super Saiyan like 10,000 kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and and just watch like
Just
people
like
like
just
like talk about it
episodes.
like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like uh and you know, I feel like that's just not what it is now. And the way it's
Yep.
morphed has just gotten so crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But especially with like the short form stuff, I mean, that's And that's
Yeah.
like hitting adults too.
Oh yeah,
Like I
for
don't know when
sure.
it was for
Do you
me.
do you
I
check your
feel like,
screen time? Are you a screen time watcher?
dude, I mean, not anymore. I used to
Because
be, and then I'd be
it
like, oh,
bothers
I'm
you.
only down to like 5 hours. Um, but now it's just like, it is what it is. Because like it also averages, since I have a Mac, between laptop and
No, it
phone.
doesn't. Not on your phone. The Mac has a completely separate one.
Yeah, but like you can integrate it though, can't you?
I
Because like
don't
I
know.
have it on my
Can you? That
Mac
would be
pull up on
sweet.
Sundays. Yeah, but that's
Show me
when
how to
I was
do
like,
that.
this is gross.
Oh
I might
yeah.
have to.
Well, I don't count the computer because I work on it. If I counted my
Yeah,
computer, it would be over 10 hours a day, every day, no matter what. So like
dude,
when,
I love the comments lighting up for Dragon Ball. That's so
yeah,
awesome.
dude, yeah, this
There's
is
a new
the,
Dragon Ball video game coming out in like October. Dude, I'm 100% buying it. It's gonna be so
yeah,
good.
this was like this and the Cell season were my only two
Cell Saga
seasons.
was, yeah,
Yeah, like that I ever really watched. Um, and yeah, like this, I still remember this, like this specific, like, and Nelson, I've talked to Nelson about how poor my like childhood recollection is of memory, but I remember
hmm
this episode vividly.
yeah. Well, so it's
Um,
so crazy too. Is like I never watched the show. Like I got introed, like my mom came home because once again, like I was pretty unregulated as a kid, and my mom and dad bought me a PlayStation pretty early on,
mhm,
and like she just came home with like this video game. It was just like the original like Dragon Ball video game,
mhm.
and like that's how I learned about like the story of it all, and like instantly got hooked on it. Trish, that is an awesome comment, and yes, I'm gonna say yes.
100%.
But no,
Trish, I always know
uh,
Trish wakes up about 7:45 Central Time and then comes on the show and has to give one good little nugget.
yeah. But yeah, that
Um,
like Cell Saga for me was tip top. And like
mhm.
now I still watch Dragon Ball, but like it's just all these shows just like they go on for so long and they can only go on for so long without it becoming just about aliens and like which I mean Dragon Ball's always kind of about aliens, but I don't know.
Right.
Now it's aliens in different universes and
Yeah.
it's just too much. But
Mhm. All right. It's 8. I gotta get Bennett up. We gotta get to school. Um, perfect. That's good. Watch YouTube channels. I like it. Thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out. Nelson, thanks for coming on.
yeah,
Um, and yeah. You guys enjoy the weekend. Make sure to turn on. Oh, is there Duke? Is Duke in here? Come here, Duke. Come here. Come on.
I got to meet Duke in person for the
Come
first
on.
time.
Is he as
That
big as
dog,
is he as big as he seems? Come here.
dude,
Sit.
he is a tank.
He's a tank. He's a big tank. He's a big lover. There's Duke. Hello. She's
Just do like a
being
quick like power clean and jerk, CJ. Just like get him to the shoulder and put him overhead.
he's heavy. He's heavy. He's a little heavy. He doesn't like being picked up. He's a little too big.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Um, but um, oh yeah, hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up, turn the notifications on. We'll be back at 11, so 3 hours from now to go over
Yeah,
Foundation. I'm gonna throw the link in the PDF or the PDF in the chat.
probably less cartoon talk, but maybe still some cartoon talk.
No cartoon
Who
talk. We're gonna
knows?
pretend to
No
be
cartoon
smart for
talk.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Um, um, so throw that in the chat. I'd love for you guys to join. We can talk about some actual
Yeah.
education, some knowledge, a little blast from the past, CrossFit. And also final thanks to Third Z for being our show sponsor. If you guys are interested in it, scan that QR code, 15% off. No melatonin, great sleep supplement, collagen protein, L-theanine, all the things that will help you improve your recovery and sleep a little bit better. All right. Even if you are running low on hours like me, it helps me optimize the hours that I do get, which is why I continue to take it. Because I'm a pretty good sleeper, but I need to make sure that I can be as effective as possible in the 5 to 6 that I get most nights. So add this
Dude,
is worthy. Solid. It's like, yeah, I bet
sleep
you
like an
do.
Olympian.
Yeah, for sure. 14 hours at a pop. All right, guys, thank you much, and we'll see you in a few hours.